Sathyabama Institute of Science and Technology.
Very good morning, everyone. I am Ms. Agila, Assistant Professor, School of Management Studies from Sathyabama Institute of Science and Technology. So today in this session, I will be dealing with Information Technology Act 2000. Since it is a vast topic, so we will be covering through few important topics like definition, so how this particular IT Act formulated, what are all the amendments that is made, especially in the year 2008, what is digital signature, and who are all the regulating authorities for certifying those digital signatures, what is appellate tribunal, what are the offences that is mentioned in this act, and what are their punishments. So these important things we will be covering in this particular session. So any business activities, if we take, there are a lot of activities that will be happening right from procuring raw materials to selling the finished goods. So in all these process, if any of the process is linked with internet, that is if any of the process is done with the help of internet, we call that as e-commerce. So since many people are involved in, so even in this digitalized era, many people are involved in doing e-commerce. If those huge population is involved, then there should be something to regularize all these things. So this particular IT Act came into force to give legal recognitions for all the transactions that is taking place with the help of internet, that is electronic communication. So with the help of internet, all the transactions that is done, this here the transaction mentioned is not restricted to the payment alone, right? So here the transaction refers to any kind of text that is transferred, any kind of document that is transferred. So everything comes here as transaction. So in any business activities, what are all the transactions that is taking place, there is something they should give legal recognitions. So for that, this particular IT Act came into existence. So this act came into force on 17th October 2000. So before 1996, the advantages of using internet in the business, every people know about it. So when a business activity when done traditionally and with the help of internet, there are a lot you can save in terms of time, in terms of energy, in terms of cost, you can save a lot, right? But despite knowing all these advantages, people hesitated to join this particular forum. Why? Because there is no law in any country to regulate this particular information technology aspect, right? So for that, this United Nations Commissions on International Trade Law, they adopted a modern law for the e-commerce in the year 1996. Based that on such thing, so an IT bill was drafted in our country in the year 1998. So after the bill was passed and getting concern from the president, so the act came into force on October 17, 2000. So that is how the act is formulated. Now, there are certain changes that happened in the act in the year 2008. So why this topic is here is, then if you take any act, there will be some kind of amendments or some kind of changes that is taking place. But here in this particular act, lot of changes almost in all sections has taken place in the year 2008. The reason behind is the growth of technology. So the growth of technology is massive, that more new things and new crimes has evolved. So to regulate all things and to bring on more clarity, more amendments were made in the year 2008. So that's why this Amendment Act in 2000 is an important topic. Here, since lot of amendments are made, can categorize into three basic groups, right? First, several definitions were added to bring on more clarity. Like for example, the definitions for electronic signature. What is electronic signature? So what and all comes under communication device? What is cyber cafe? What is cyber security? So for all these terms, definitions were added in this particular act in 2008. And for the offences that is already mentioned in the act, changes were happened in the penalties and compensations. So here why I am using the word offences, mostly people will be using the term cybercrime, but there is no definition in this IT Act for cybercrime or in any act. So all these crimes comes under the word offences. So they'll be referring the word offences. So for those offences, certain changes were happened and new offences were inserted in the sections. So one such example is punishment for sending offensive messages through communication services. So these are all few basic amendments that has happened in the IT Act in 2008. So one important aspect of IT Act is digital signature. So there are two signatures in IT Act, electronic signature and digital signature. Electronic signature is the one that normally we do, that is writing the name at the bottom of the paper or putting our sign at the bottom of the paper. So that comes under electronic signature. Whereas digital signature is, it's some kind of authentication given to legal record. So if you think like digital signature means some kind of signature at the bottom of the paper means no. So digital signature means some kind of protection that is given to your document, right? So only the originator, the person who created it, can modulate or alter anything. Other than that, the document cannot be altered. So such kind of record is known as digital signature. How this is produced or who is giving or who is using is that who is using this particular digital signature is subscriber. Anyone can use digital signature. For that, you just have to apply. When you fulfill all the eligibility criteria, you can definitely get the digital signature and you have to pay the subscription fees. After the period has completed, you have to renew again. So one of the main important duty as for you as a subscriber is there will be two keys provided for you for having this digital signature. One is public key, other one is private key. So in these two keys, public key will be mentioned to all the parties, but private key will be rest with only you. So if you think the private key gets leaked in of any case, you should definitely report immediately to the concerned parties, right? So concerned parties means the controller of certifying authority. So you have to inform them immediately, right? So and who is giving me the digital signature? So where I can get the digital signature means to a person called certifying authority. So he is the person who is giving you the service of providing all this digital signature. Okay, so something clashes has happened or someone is cheating, either the subscriber or the certifying authority is cheating. So where can I report to? So who is the party who can solve the dispute means there is a person called controller of certifying authorities, right? So this person is in charge of all the digital signature or the certifying authorities. So his main work is uh, to lay out the eligibility criteria for the certifying authority. So to who and all can give the particular service. And one more amendments that is made especially in 2008 also. So before that, few companies have bought patent rights for digital signature. So when the service providers charged more, so in 2008 this was made neutral. So this controller of certifying authority will be appointed by central government. Other than him, there are various other persons also like deputy controllers, assistant controllers and other officers and employees. If the government seems fit, they can appoint it. So next is appellate tribunal. We call it a cyber appellate tribunal. So if there is some kind of crimes that has happened, some kind of offences happened, whom shall I report or where can I file a case means you can file a case in appellate tribunal. So who will be in charge of appellate tribunal will be a presiding officer. So he has the same qualifications as a judge of the high court. He also have the same powers as that like a high court judge. So he can summon any parties, he can give judgments, and if you are not satisfied with the judgment, can definitely apply in the high court. So what are all the offences that is mentioned in this act? There are a lot of offences mentioned because of the crime rate that is increasing. So before an IT Act 2000, the persons who is in charge of taking the cases will not be below the rank of DSP, right? But after, since the crime rate have increased, the persons who can inquire all these things, they have came down like to the inspector of the police, right? So since these are the many offenses, I have listed few things are tampering with computer source documents. So if there is any source documents, the original documents, some kind of alteration that is done, deletion or addition, mainly in financial documents and records and all, if you even add a zero or delete a zero, everything is considered as an offense. And hacking with computer system, you are trying to access any passwords of other people's or you are going to trying to get the access of any protected system, then that comes under hacking. And publishing of obscene informations like violent content, sexually explicit content, so publishing those things, sharing those contents is also considered as offense. Penalty for breach of privacy, there is some regulations for privacy. So what is privacy? So what details and all comes under privacy? So mainly confidential informations that cannot be taken access without the permission of the person, right? So penalty is there for the breach of privacy also. And offences committed outside India. So why outside India is, for example, there is a person who is cheated in London. So he is in London, but at least one of the network, for example, a person in India is involved, or any one computer or network is involved in that means, then the appellate tribunal has the power to take up the case because one network is involved in India, right? And child pornography, so even like depicting children in sexually or liking it or sharing the content, everything is considered as offenses. And cyber terrorism, like crashing any company's websites and making them a huge loss, or else something done to threat our national security, all these are considered cyber terrorism. So for all these offenses, the punishment ranges from 1 year to 3 years of imprisonment with fine from 1 lakhs to 10 lakhs, and the maximum punishment that is given in this particular IT Act is life imprisonment and 1 crore of punishments for cyber terrorism. To sum up, this particular IT Act came to regulate mainly the transactions that is happening in e-commerce and to protect people from cyber offenses that is taking place. So that's it in IT Act 2000. Thank you.